As a leader, do you ever confide in anyone or seek counsel from anyone? Or do you just wrestle with issues within yourself and try to figure things out on your own?
Another really good question, and I do both. Of course, I try and figure out things on my own, but here's the little secret. Is it a secret? It's not really a secret because I'm about to tell everyone.
Sure.
But it's something that I wouldn't really talk about because it's just something I would instinctively do. When I'm figuring things out on my own, at the same time, I seek counsel. I think that's how they said it. Seek counsel from the trusted teammates that I have, or peers or superiors or subordinates that I trust. But when I counsel them, when I seek counsel, when I ask for feedback, while I'm trying to figure out things on my own, I actually keep those thoughts to myself. In the beginning, right? I let other people tell me what their ideas are first. I want to hear what they come up with. Because if somebody comes up with a good plan, we're going with it. Like if it's, hey, you know what? That's a pretty good plan. We'll go with that. Because as I've said many times, I prefer to use one of my subordinates' plan over mine. I would rather use my subordinates' plan rather than mine, as long as it's tactically sound, because then they believe in their plan, right? And if it's not tactically sound, I give them a little nudge to make some corrections and still use their plan because I want them to use their solutions and their plans. So that way, like I said, they have ownership of the plan. And when they're coming up with a plan, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get too close to it. They're going to do what I talked about in that opening story, which is they're going to be at low altitude. They're going to be staring at it right in the face. And I'm going to be allowed to remain detached and remain at altitude so I have a better perspective of the overall plan than they do. And that ends up making me look like a tactical genius, which is awesome. So I guess this is the secret. This is the trick or whatever. Don't talk so much. Don't talk so much. Don't feel the need. Don't feel the need. This is something you have to resist as a leader, as a person that wants to be a leader. Yeah. Leif always says something about people, aspiring leaders, right? If you're an aspiring leader, don't feel like you're the person that has to always come up with a plan or come up with a solution. Even when you are the leader, don't feel like you're that guy. In fact, it's better to not do that. It's better just to think and to just listen to what people are saying and watch their plans come out and get shot down and get reformulated and be improved. And if you hadn't said anything yet, guess what? The longer you don't say anything, the more people are going to listen when you actually open your mouth. So just kind of keep your mouth shut. Now, this is a little bit different because we're talking about like a plan, right? A strategy or something. What if it's something political within your team? You know what I mean? Then what do you do? What I do is the same thing. Like I will think, I will listen, I will discuss things with people and gather intelligence from them. I'll ask them some probing questions. But I'm not going to divulge what my position is because number one, that will influence them. It will make them react. And I don't want to influence anyone or make them react until I'm going to be able to influence them and get them to react and act the way that I want them that's going to benefit the team. So I'm going to ask some questions. What do you think about? Hey, what do you think's going on with Jimmy? He seems to be acting. Is he okay? I'll ask you. I'll ask him. I'll ask Mike. I'll ask Bill. I'll ask Jennifer. I'll find out what's going on. All of a sudden, Jennifer and Bill, they say something a little bit different. Oh, okay. See, I'm going to gather the political perspectives and listen. I'm going to let things unfold. I'm going to observe and relax and detach and listen and think and calculate. That's what I'm going to do. And dichotomy, if something needs to happen and I have to be decisive, I'm going to make a decision. We're going to go with it. I'm going to put it out there. So oddly enough, as a leader, don't talk so much. I know that seems crazy. The more you talk, the less people listen.
Interesting. What about in like everyday stuff? I guess maybe this wouldn't really apply to as a leader, but maybe like as a person. You know how like like you confide, how like I'll have a pro come in and they'll be like, hey, how like I'll have a pro come in and they'll be like, hey, let me get your advice, whatever, about something that obviously I didn't feel like appropriate to like just ask all my friends kind of thing, like, do you ever do that?
No.
You just mainly think about it yourself?
Well, what I would do is, I do what I just said I would do. I'd be like, hey, man, what's going on with this? Yeah. Now, I guess if you were, when you come and ask me something, you're asking me something, you always ask me about something I'm not a part of in any way.
Yeah. That's
so
what I mean.
It's different. So yeah, if it's like that, if it's something if there's someone that's completely outside the situation, yeah, I'll say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's going on here. We had this happen. I got this situation. And just, for sure, I'll do that. Yes. So that is good. But if it's within the team, then I generally just won't come out and ask like, hey, what do you, I want to change this. Instead, I'll be like, hey, what would you change about? You know what I mean? Ask them what they think first. Yeah. Because you might have to make some adjustments. If I come in and it's like, Echo, we're changing the way we record this thing now. Here's what's happening. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. And you're listening. And the first thing you say to me is like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Now I'm an idiot. Especially when you say, well, here's why it won't work, Jocko. Boom. You lay out 3 things. Instead, if I was like, hey, man, what would you think about this issue that we're having? What solutions do you think we could do to solve that? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I get to listen to your ideas. And by the way, when you come up with one of those ideas and one of them sounds pretty good to me, guess what we're doing? That one. Now who's got ownership of that idea? You do. Now who's all fired up to implement it? You do. Yeah. And I didn't waste any leadership. In fact, I gained leadership capital because now you're like, man, Jocko's like, you trust me, dude. Yeah. It's pretty cool. He's letting me run this.
Yep. Yeah. And as speaking from a person who doesn't necessarily, it doesn't seem like I necessarily get that big of a payoff to have that attitude. Like, I'm running this, like, and I don't know, for whatever reason. I never felt like that was a big thing to me, to be the guy running it. But I don't know, maybe it is, maybe in my subconscious, because I know that you do that to me. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's actually kind of funny, because you don't do it with big things necessarily. Maybe you will, whatever. But most of the time, it's just some little teeny small thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, just totally not falling for it. I get it. It's a good tactic. But now that how you just fully just illustrate it. And meanwhile, I should know this. I do know this, really, that you do that.
Here's the thing. It's not a bad thing. No, I'm not screwing you over.
No, it's actually perfect.
Yeah, it's actually beneficial to you. Yeah. You're actually are running things. Yeah. If I come and say, hey, what do you think kind of table we should get for the podcast? Or what, what I mean? What do you think would be the best lighting system? Like, I know what I think. That's the thing I don't really divulge is I know what I think. Yeah. And you know what though, I understand. But by the way, the table thing that I tried on that one, it didn't work.
No, I failed a little bit.
Actually, I failed because I should have put much clearer parameters around the table scenario. Yeah. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, which is no one in the world except for us two, yes. We got a different table for our recording studio, which is right at this moment being expanded. But when we were still in the small recording studio, I forget why we needed a new table, just because the other one was too big.
No, we were adding another camera.
Okay, we're adding another camera and possible guests. So hey man, go grab a table. And the table that I had gotten in the past, let's face it, it was legit. It was legit. Very legit. Echo goes and gets a table. I don't know if that thing cost $48, but it wasn't worth it. No, this thing was wiggly and small and weak. And anyways, that's an example where I didn't do a good job. And it's also an example of occasionally your vision isn't aligned. Like my vision, normally you and I have very aligned vision about something. When it comes to the technical nature of the podcast. The table, we weren't on aligned. No. I wouldn't have bought that table ever. Well, I wouldn't have bought that table for like a prop to be used in a one scene scenario.
Dang, bro. Yeah. I don't know what but okay, so I'll admit I don't know if I told you this, but I'll admit that the thing is, you probably, when you got your table, you probably went somewhere and was like, yeah, that's the table. You felt it and was like, yeah, I can imagine, and you're eyeballing it. And
I actually ordered it online. But I'd say I have more, even though I know you worked for a moving company.
Yes.
Nonetheless, I think I have more. I'm more worldly when it comes to furniture.
You might be right.
Because there's something wrong.
Well, I saw it on Amazon. I was like, hey, that's a cool table.
Yeah.
And that fits the dimension.
Yeah.
It fit the dimension. Yeah, when it came in, it's the old story, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it looked good in the picture.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Then when it shows up, it's like,
yeah, you're like, it looks good in the picture. And it's only $39. Should last. The other table we had was like $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't 39.
Next time I'm gonna put a minimum price.
Yeah, just to ensure
minimum
quality.
Price to ensure some kind of quality.
Yeah. No.
So, anyways,
we'll do.
The point is, yes, when you give somebody, you let it be their idea. You keep your ideas to yourself. I'm not trying to be all secretive.
Right.
I'm not trying to be all secretive. It's not like I'm not going to tell this person. Because eventually my ideas, if it needs to come out, it comes out. Hopefully it doesn't come out. Hopefully it never needs to come out because my team comes up with a great plan and I can just be quiet and they can go execute it. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Occasionally they can't find a solution. And it's like, hey, man, okay, hey, guys. And then maybe, you know what I'll do? I won't even divulge my whole idea. I'll say, hey, well, what about this? Yeah. What about an idea like this? Oh, yeah, that's not bad. And, man, when you see someone get a good idea, they get so happy.
Yes.
It's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And so you want to give them that gift. And the way you do that is by letting them come up with their own ideas.
Sure.
You just got to make sure that they have worldly experience with furniture.
With stuff.
That's the situation.
All right. Well, there you go. And I dig it. And because in a way, it's not really even about the idea. It's more about, okay, we need a solution to this problem. I don't care what that, there's a bunch of potential solutions kind of thing. And yeah, you might have one in your head, but you don't want to just start saying, throwing it around as the one, you know?
It also, yes, you're right. Also, when you divulge your idea, guess what happens to everyone else's ideas, especially when you're in a leadership position. When you're in a leadership position and you divulge your idea, everyone kind of gravitates towards that idea as being the best. If you keep your idea to yourself, you let the true growth of ideas develop and true things come out, and people aren't just trying to say like, oh, great idea, Jocko. Yeah. Or even if they're not like a kiss ass, but you just put an idea in their head and they can't see it a different way.
Yeah.
You know?
And even if they do, you put them in a position where now they have to shut down your idea. Not a big deal, but it's still an added element that you have to, you got to kind of put them in as far as that position goes. Yeah. Rather than you'll just kind of open up the floor. It's kind of like back in, who has something to say? Kind of the atmosphere, and we all can, throw around ideas and the best one comes out.
There you go.
Thanks, Brian.
Cool.
Man. We'll get a better table next time, I promise. Next question.